You're looking at a community that's growing, that desperately needs the gospel. When you start looking at it from lives and souls and the gospel, man, it's a no-brainer. It's an easy decision. Jeff came to me and said, we have a vision that we want to come alongside a church in this area and replant, or revitalize, replant, a church that's really slowly dying. We toured the facility. We went through the sanctuary and then basically also the community center that they had built. And then we went into just a little staff meeting room. I had never thought I'd ever see myself in a meeting like that, where you've got a pastor who loves to pastor. You could just sense that he loved to pastor. You had deacons who love to be deacons. They love to lead that church. And every one of them was in tears in that meeting because they hated what they were seeing with that church. To the point to where, and I never thought I would hear a deacon say this or a pastor say this, that they would be willing to do whatever it took, even if it took for them all to step out of leadership.
So my first experience with the church here was a walkthrough that we did as a staff, and we were just trying to get our heads around what it might look like for us to help this church and help relaunch the mission here. And in that walkthrough, I just saw so much potential for ministry. I would estimate about 10,000 people pass by this church every single day. And in a lot of ways, it had been kind of forgotten. It had just become part of the background.
I think 3 Sundays before our first service on June 6th, I went to just meet the congregation and worship with them. And that was a really fun experience. A very, very small congregation at that point. I think I counted maybe up to 20. It made me even more excited about being there, because to see the sanctuary and to feel how quiet it was, when I feel like there was just so much more that could be happening in there.
And here we are, several months in, and already seeing God do some incredible work.
There have been a lot of meaningful relationships since coming to Old Town. One of the things that we felt we lacked was community. We sensed that was the common heartbeat of everyone that stepped through the doors, was true community.
Choosing to test it out or be part of that was an easy choice. I think coming out of where our family has been the last few years, we've been in some hard places. I've just recovered from breast cancer. Our family has struggled through some hurts, and so that has been very affirming and refreshing for us to be part of a church in that capacity. I think it's just been a place where we all came in as strangers, and now, because of the love of Christ, we've become family.
When we lose a church, when a church closes down, something that I have learned very quickly is you lose so much more than a building, you lose so much more than a nonprofit organization.
Churches in America are closing their doors every day, and that's obviously not the direction that we want the kingdom to be going in our country in general. And for a church to just sit empty on a corner, right in the heart of a community that people drive by every day, I think that would have really said something, and it would have said the opposite of what it's saying now.
We're going to continue to see churches die. We're going to continue to see churches need to be planted and replanted, not only in Birmingham, but really in North America and all over the world. What if we helped plant and send out planters and replanters in North America? What if we sent out and helped be a part of sending out missionaries and church planters internationally? God has blessed this church with everything that we need to be called to do something bigger.
People are walking around the aisles of Walmart wondering if there's any hope or any point to this life. And to be able to build a place and to be able to build a family of faith that can take a message of hope to the darkest corners of a city, that's the mission. That's what God has called us to do.